channel is sponsored by Great Bay Outfitters. Great Bay Outfitters is a waterfront kayak shop located near Great Bay. They are New Jersey's #1 volume dealer of Old Town kayaks. Great Bay Outfitters specializes in fishing kayaks and offers demos, rentals, repair, rigging, and a full assortment of PFDs, dry suits, motors, paddles, and accessories from many major brands. What is up, everyone? Today I'm out and about trying a different area for Sheepshead. Haven't fished this specific area in over a year, but every time I've ever came to this part of New Jersey, I've done very well. So stay tuned. I got some fiddler crabs and some sand fleas. We're just gonna intermix and see which one's producing. All right, so I got myself a little fiddler. Gonna drop on this piling to start the day. Weather does not look like it's going to be in our favor. Low wind right now, but later they're calling for pretty bad thunderstorms, so I'm going to try and maximize the time I got, which right now doesn't seem like more than 45 minutes if I'm lucky. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Got him. Not sure what, not a big guy. Maybe a sheep. Little sheep, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah, little sheep. All right. So that's not a bad first drop. That is a little guy in my books, probably, I don't know, 18, maybe 19 inches. Give or take. It's actually the good eating size, but we're gonna let this guy go. Now, some guys swear that you have to rip the claws off. I actually kind of like keeping them on there. I don't know, if it's a big fiddler crab, I'll rip them off, but like the medium-sized ones to small ones like that, I think it just looks more natural with its claw on. Everybody's different. Some people swear that if you leave the claw on, you're gonna lose the crab easier, and maybe so, but I feel like if these sheepshead are feeding the way they have been feeding, you typically get solid hits. It's not like they're really picking at them. At least recently, seems that way. Ooh. Had a hitting, and I don't know if he took my bait or not. Drop it a little bit. There we go. Oh, let's get him off that piling. There he is. Another sheep. This little guy, we're gonna just boat flip. It'd be a sin to net something that small. Little guy, but cool looking sheep. The future for these fish, man, is super bright. I know there's a lot of, if you're on social media a lot, there's a lot of dead fish popping up, but with my experience on the water almost every day, from, you know, May till November, fishing for these fish, there are areas that are just absolutely stacked with them. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be some type of conservation, but I think there's more fish than people know. There we go. There we go. A little bigger than the first two. Maybe not. Let's get this guy back. Actually, this is the smallest one. Crazy, man. I thought felt a little bigger, I guess. Oh man, that actually feels good on a warm day like this. All right, I I pulled that last one like a Guggen. I got a little too excited. He had it in its mouth, but not all the way. You could tell kind of within, oh, and there's a hit right away. So that's good. I didn't spook him. Wow, cleaned me. I was gonna say, usually when you find that window, you gotta hammer them while you can. And what's interesting, I brought Fiddlers, but I also brought some live sand fleas. I'm gonna switch to sand fleas after this drop and see if it makes a huge difference. Man. Oh, got it as it fell. I think he might have got me though. Nope, got him. Got him. Let me get him out of there. Shoo! Son. I don't know. My favorite childhood fisherman used to say son every time he'd hook up into a bass. This one's a little bit feistier. What's crazy is he's probably the same size, he's just a little bit more spunkier. Although, nah, he's a little bigger. Alright, let's get this guy back in. He was actually hooked on the outside of his mouth, if you could believe that. There he goes. Alright, let's try and capitalize. That's why, if you notice, most of these fish, I'll fight them, get them on board, get them back in as quick as possible. No need to measure them, unless it's like a monster PB, which I haven't seen yet this year. Biggest one I've had is only like 25 inches. But I want to try and get in on this bite while I can. Oh, there's one. Oh, come on. Picked it up and dropped it. See that? Let him get it. Let him take it. Oh. Picked it up and dropped it. There we go. That first few seconds, man, so crucial. Especially the big ones. These aren't big ones, but them big ones, man, if you don't get 2-3 pumps out, those fish will run you into oblivion. Knock on wood, we've been fortunate this year. We haven't lost many jigs, because that can make fishing more expensive. And you know, I don't make a living off this YouTube channel. This is just kind of a hobby. You know, I work 2 full-time jobs to make ends meet, and this is just kind of a fun thing to do in between. Cool looking fish. There we go. That's a little nicer one. I always underestimate their power. You'll get the net ready, get them up to the surface, and then they run again. Seems like you got to time it a little better in the summer when they're fired up. In the fall, they're not as crazy, in my opinion. The colder water, they're not like giving you everything they got. get this guy back in. That was like a perfect hook set right there. They don't get much easier than that. There he goes. Oh, wow. Wow. I was trying to pick that Fiddler bucket up. Left-handed hook set. Oh, man. I guess it's better to be lucky than skilled. That was luck. Complete luck, man. Literally had the rod in my other hand. Dang, son. Okay. Whew, man, that's got to be the luckiest sheepshead I've caught in a long time. Not that I can't set the hook lefty, but my hookup ratio when I switch hands is probably not the highest, like most people. But man, this guy's been eating good. He's not long by any means, but he's got some girth to him. Look at his stomach. You can tell he's been eating good. Alright, try that again. I got a decent hit right here. It's a really tiny area that I'm trying to fish. Man, it's like if you don't land it directly in that little area, man, you're just straight behind. I think I was dropping it this way and letting it fall in front of this piling. There we go. There we go. Got him that time. Trying to pull him away. Little sheep. On the sand fleet. It's funny, man. You listen to all these guys that swear they know sheepshead. They're the quote-unquote sheepshead gods, and they're telling people you can't catch sheepshead with sand fleas. I would beg to differ. Little guy though. New sand flea on. Alright, let's try that again. I have not been on my A game for hook sets. Part of it, when the tide is moving like this, I'm trying my best to kind of keep myself tucked behind. And I'm not really focusing on the rod as much as I should. But I'm going to try and switch that up this drop. There we go. There we go. That's all I had to do. Just pay attention. Seems so simple. Oh no. Dang, son. Oh man. It really isn't a hard fishery if you key in on the small things. I mean, I know people say it's harder than tog fishing, but I don't know. I feel like when you get the pulse for them and you know what to expect, it's just as easy as tog fishing in my opinion. But a lot of it is paying attention to key details. How these fish feed, when they feed. I think the most common mistake I hear people saying is they try just during slack. And yes, during the slack tide, it's the easiest to maneuver a structure like we're fishing today. But I've never had great success during slack. Now, there might be guys out there that have, and that's good for them, but from my experience, it's usually the slowest time to fish.